Imagine you are standing in a very busy city like New York or Los Angeles. You look around and you see food from every corner of the world. You see pizza from Italy and tacos from Mexico and sushi from Japan. It feels like the whole world is on your plate. But then you stop and ask yourself a very strange question. Where is the food from right here? Where is the food from the land that I am actually standing on? It is a mystery that most of us never think about while we are eating. We travel across the world with our taste buds, but we are often strangers to the very ground beneath our feet. This disconnect is the starting point for a journey back to the roots of what we eat and why we eat it. When we look at the history of a place, we often look at the buildings or the books. But the most honest history is actually kept in the soil and the plants that grow there naturally. On the surface, we see a very simple concept of seasonal cooking. We see people gathering ingredients that are growing right now in the forest or the fields nearby. They use things like bison and wild rice and natural sugars from maple trees. They use spices like sumac and heat from local chilies. At first, this looks like just another food trend. It looks like a chef trying to be fancy or different. But when you taste this food, you notice something immediately. It tastes clean and it tastes fresh. It does not taste like a factory or a lab. It tastes like a specific moment in time and a specific place on the map. This brings us to a hidden assumption that we all carry about our modern diet. We assume that the ingredients we use every day, like wheat flour and white sugar and cow milk, have always been here. We act as if these are the basic building blocks of all food. But if we look closer, we realize that these ingredients are actually newcomers. They are colonial ingredients that were brought here from other places. By building a kitchen without them, we are not just making a health choice. We are performing an act of memory. We are peeling back the layers of history to see what was here first. We find that the indigenous people of this land had a perfect and healthy way of eating long before these new ingredients arrived. This realization leads us to a deeper and more serious structural pattern. The fact that you cannot easily find a Native American restaurant in a major city is not an accident. It is the result of a very long and very intentional process of erasure. When people are separated from their land, they are also separated from their food. When you take away the traditional seeds and the hunting grounds, you take away the culture. This is how a society forgets its own identity. It happens one meal at a time until the next generation does not even know what they are missing. They grow up thinking that pizza and burgers are the only options for dinner. This is a quiet kind of loss that happens in the kitchen and at the dining table. But we can choose to reframe this entire perspective. We can see food not just as fuel but as a powerful form of resistance and healing. Every time someone cooks a meal using only what the land provides, they are fighting against that erasure. They are saying that this culture is still alive and still delicious. The goal is to make this way of eating normal again. We want a world where an indigenous child can walk down the street and see their own heritage on a restaurant menu. We want them to feel that their food is just as important and just as available as any other cuisine. This is about putting native food back on the list of choices for the next generation. It is about reclaiming a sense of pride in the flavors that have been part of this land for thousands of years. This idea applies to our daily lives in a very practical way. We can start to pay more attention to the seasons in our own neighborhoods. We can look for the fruits and vegetables that are native to our specific region. When we eat things that belong to the land, we feel a different kind of connection to our environment. We begin to understand that we are part of an ecosystem and not just consumers of a product. We can support the people who are doing the hard work of saving ancient seeds and teaching traditional cooking methods. This is a way of honoring the people who were here before us and making sure their wisdom is not lost. Think about the flavors that are mingling in your favorite dish. Are they global or are they local? There is a special kind of magic that happens when you taste something that belongs exactly where you are sitting. It feels right in a way that is hard to describe. It is a feeling of belonging. As we move forward, we have the opportunity to build a food system that is more honest and more diverse. We can move beyond the limited ingredients of the past few centuries and embrace the incredible variety that nature offers. This is a journey that requires us to be curious and to be willing to try new things. It asks us to respect the land and the people who have cared for it for so long. By bringing these old flavors into the modern world, we are creating a bridge between the past and the future. We are making sure that the story of this land continues to be told through the food we share. This is not just about a single steak or a bowl of rice. It is about a much larger movement toward justice and cultural health. It is about finding beauty in the things that were almost forgotten. Every bite is a step toward a more complete understanding of our home. We are learning to listen to the land again and to trust the gifts that it provides. When we cook with these original ingredients, we are participating in a tradition that is much older than any city or any government. We are honoring a history that is written in the leaves and the roots and the spirit of the wild. This is the true meaning of a local meal. It is a celebration of survival and a promise to the children who will come after us. It is a way to ensure that the flavors of the land stay vibrant and strong for another 1,000 years. If we can learn to appreciate the food that grows right beneath our feet, how much more connected might we feel to the history and the future of the place we call home?